Still, reconciling anything of the past with memories that sometimes shifted like wind-blown sand was akin to studying from a textbook missing every other page. There was no way for him to know how much he had right or wrong. Even so, Alex found himself again pondering the traumatic childhood memory, peering at it as though through the eyes of his younger self. He saw Dr. Lassiter and the features of the big room, though the images had the organization of puzzle pieces scattered by a frustrated child. But Alex persisted, forcing clarity and form to the images until he saw something like a big projection screen or giant television. The screen was displaying a real-time MRI scan of what happened inside Alex as he moved. He reflected upon the metal plate surgically placed over the front of his skull. Alex had been told it was to reinforce the bone, but the half-truth was hardly a glint given off by the diamond that was the whole truth. Alex studied his memories more closely and saw something he had never seen before. Tree branches. The metal plate had tiny lines running out from behind it that looked like miniature tree branches. Those branches were actually electrodes that threaded through the frontal lobe. The frontal lobe of his brain and into the cerebral cortex. In normal brains, the cerebral cortex was alight with electrical activity as it controlled voluntary muscle movement. In Alex's brain, this region was a metropolis of light that had power outages throughout the city. Today, electrostimulation devices acted as pacemakers for the brain by using precise bursts of electricity to restore power to those blacked out neighborhoods. Alex had something like that in his head. Technology maintaining bridges of crackling energy running through the darkened areas. Those electrical bridges were power lines, re-establishing neurological connections smothered by surface scar tissue. Alex's memory winked back to when his cat-like abilities had briefly vanished a few months ago. His first impression had been of someone flipping his body's power switch back to normal. To test the idea, Alex spent another night with his abilities in their active state. For 12 hours, Alex enjoyed complete control of his body. Then, precisely at the 12th hour, the power switch clicked and his cat-like abilities disappeared again. Buried within the upper left side of his chest was a round, cookie-sized mass. Alex had never seen whatever it was, but when he considered the sensation of it, he imagined a polished, smooth surface that was almost completely flat. He pictured more tree branches sprouting from it. Those branches had bioelectrical impulses flashing along them to and from his brain like microscopic lightning strikes. Alex suspected the component was more a power converter and storage device than a generator, an alternator for the brain that he thought operated as an energy centrifuge. He imagined the neural energy from his brain spinning in a vortex of light as the alternator neutralized it, breaking the energy down before restoring the charge in a repolarized state. The final product was conventional energy that powered the electrostimulation device in Alex's head. It was a process which made Alex's brain a self-sustaining power source for that device. The alternator probably stored a 12-hour charge. Once it was spent, the device most likely shut down until enough power was available again. For every 12 hours Alex spent physically enabled, he would have to spend 12 hours physically disabled.